pass along to each other, and they go, uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. And they construct, and they keep constructing. They keep constructing, meaning lying, one lie after another. One lie builds on the next lie, and then they start to believe themselves, and then they con the other one in the movement, and then they all say, and there they are. What do you mean there's more complexity to it? You're a liar through and through, in my opinion. Now, here's the best one of this faker. She actually sued an all-black university, claiming she was discriminated against because she was white. I swear to God, this con woman has worked it both ways. When she was white, she sued a black university for not giving a tenure. But there's more to the story than that. Wait, it gets even better. Former student says Rachel Dolezal dismissed her as not Hispanic enough. Not only has she faked it, but she asked for a student in the class to step forward and portray his experiences as an Hispanic. But when he stood up, she said, well, he's light-skinned and he's not Spanish enough. She said, I didn't look Hispanic enough. She doubted that I could share experiences of racial or ethnic discrimination. That's what she did. This woman is a danger to your children. This is not mockery. This is insanity. Now listen to the next one. It gets even worse in this. Which one? Oh, here's her suing a black university, Howard University. Listen to this con woman in 14.
Your lawsuit against Howard University in 2002, where you claim you were discriminated against because you were a pregnant white woman. Do you understand how people could hear that and say, here's another example? She says she identified herself as being African American or black from a young age, but here's a case where she identified herself as a white woman because it worked for her under the circumstances.
The reasons for my full tuition scholarship being removed and my teaching position as well, my TA position, were that other people needed opportunities, and you probably have white relatives and that can afford to help you with your tuition. And I thought that was an injustice.
Can you believe this? Can you believe the crap they get away in the within the universities? And she does it with a mocking smirk in her voice. She's told this lie over and over again to the university schmucks and morons. And the university schmucks and morons are afraid of her. The university schmucks and morons are afraid of her. They're afraid of being sued. So the university schmucks and morons went along with this. So now she's on the world stage and she continues the big lie. And she thinks we're going to buy this garbage? What a disgrace this nation has become under Barack Obama, who has pushed the divide of race into everyone's head. It's turned black against white, white against black, gay against straight, old against young, young against old, Asian against white, white against Asian, Hispanic against black, black against Hispanic. The man has destroyed race relations in the nation. The man has set this nation back 50 years, not forward 50 years. And now this clown white ex-NAACP leader comes across and says, well, your race is what you think it is. Well, then let me make an argument for those of you who believe her. If she says race is complex, and it's not what your DNA says it is, why then it's time to dissolve the NAACP, isn't it? I mean, if race is a construct and it doesn't really exist and you are what you feel you are, then why do we need a national association for the advancement of colored people? And while you're at it, ask yourself this question. Why do we need La Raza chapters, including the biggest one in the White House, when La Raza stands for brown supremacism? It's an Hispanic-only advancement group. The race, La Raza. Why not dissolve it since race is a construct? And by the way, while you're at it, why don't you tell that to fight fans while they're watching white men fight black men in a ring? Tell them there's no such thing as race. Or while you're at it, why don't you tell that to boxing fans as they watch black men fight Hispanic men in a ring? Tell them there's no such thing as race as they wave their Mexican flags. Tell them there's no such thing as race. Why don't you try it on them? It's unbelievable to me how sick this country has become under the radical left that has ruined the nation. KSFO, Robert, make your point, please. Go on. You're on the Savage Nation.
Yeah, I was just calling in about the race identity and identity in general. And we have Bruce Jenner identifying as a man who's identifying as a woman, and a white woman identifying as a black woman. And I just want to know, where do we draw the line? You know, can a 45-year-old man identify as a 13-year-old girl and have sex with a 12-year-old boy? Is that okay? I mean,
I guess so. I mean, ask her. Maybe he can join the NAMBLA, National Man-Boy Love Association, and say that his age is a construct. Although he may be 45, he feels like he's 13.
And that's my fear, is that we're going to wake up one day, and that's what, it's every day you turn the TV on, it's some more outrageous thing.
Well, you can thank Oprah Winfrey for that, for letting Bruce Jenner get away with that big lie, for pushing that as a reality on us.
Can I go?
It's that simple. I mean, you want to twist reality? Right. You're asking, where does it end? Where does it? Oh, I feel like I'm an airline pilot. I'll force United to hire me. Well, have you taken any flying lessons? No, but I feel like I've taken flying lessons. Well, where'd you feel you did? Well, I went online. I looked up flying, and I looked at a controller. I feel like I could fly this jet. And if you don't let me in this 767 to fly it, I'm going to sue you under the EEOC rules, because I feel like I'm a fighter pilot. And being, a commercial pilot. And being a commercial pilot is more complex than actually showing 5,000 hours in a cockpit. It's far more complex than that. There's no such thing as an absolute to the liberal. It's what you feel it is. This started with the 60s. Remember what I warned you now for 21 years? Remember the ethos of the 60s? If it feels good, do it. Why not do it in the road? How many times have liberals said, I feel something? And so they say, well, to feel it means it's real, huh? Do you see what this has metastasized into? That Obama feels like an oppressed black? And he uses that malarkey to get away with murder? He uses the malarkey of feeling like an oppressed black man to get away with murder. And then goes, he had a party this weekend with 500 people, and he won't disclose the guest list. Why do you think that is? While he trashes the White House with his private shindigs, we are supposed to sit here like idiots and take this? Yeah, I guess we sit here and take it. Why? Because of the media. They let him get away with it. They've empowered the big lie. I am running so short of time, I apologize, but I'll be back in a moment.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
Your Savage Nation is sponsored by SwissAmerica.com. It's the only company I trust for tangible assets, gold and silver. Call 800-BUICOIN. Hey, Savage.
What's going on? I just want a job. Just get me a job. I don't need the rhetoric. I want a job. And that's what's happening. And it's going to get worse because remember, Obamacare really kicks in 2016. Obama is going to be out playing golf. He might even be on one of my courses. I would invite him. I actually would say. I have the best courses in the world, so I'd say, you know what, if he wants to, I have one right next to the White House, right on the Potomac. If he'd like to play, that's fine. In fact, I'd love him to leave early and play. That would be a very good thing.
I love Donald Trump's outspokenness, plain language, and he shoots from the hip because he's not afraid of anything. Why should he be? He's going to worry about the toe dust on TV mocking him, the little girls with the dresses there. They make a mockery of him. I hope he runs, and I hope he's real about running and defeating Hillary. But we can't be sure. We must remain skeptical of Donald Trump and everyone else. We don't have to jump just because he says the right things. And we have every reason to fear that this could just be another Ross Perot shuck and jive. Quote me on that. I don't know whether you heard that yet today on the cartel, the radio cartel, but you heard it here. It could be a shuck and jive. I'd vote for him if it's real. Now, I would be remiss not to close with the following. Here is the liar, Rachel Dolezal, in clip 19. You're not going to believe what she said. Listen to this one.
From a very young age, felt I don't know if it's spiritual, visceral, just very instinctual connection with Black is beautiful. And I didn't know how to articulate that as a young child. I mean, in kindergarten or whatever. But certainly that was shut down. I mean, I was socially conditioned to not own that and to be limited to whatever biological identity was thrust upon me and narrated to me.
I demand FBI charges against her for lying about her race in her applications. I demand an investigation. And I want all you white boys out there to apply for black scholarships and check black on your applications and tell me what might happen. Go ahead. Go ahead and make my day. Go ahead, make my day. Check black when you're white and see what might happen. See if you get on the Today Show.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE. Warning. The Savage Nation contains adult language, adult content, psychological nudity. Listener discretion is advised. And now, America's most exciting radio talk show, The Savage Nation, home of unprotected talk, borders, language, culture. And here he is, Michael Savage.
We owe China $1.3 trillion. We owe Japan more than that. So they come in, they take our jobs, they take our money, and then they loan us back the money, and we pay them in interest. And then the dollar goes up, so their deal's even better. How stupid are our leaders? How stupid are these politicians to allow this to happen?
Today on the one and only Savage Nation. Would you vote for Trump? I would. With a caveat. That is to make certain he's not running as a spoiler the way Ross Perot did. I've talked about that before. And the next topic is the race scandal and what it means for the rest of the country. And then the issue of the fallible Pope and the Pope's mischief. The world is so crazy and so upside down because of the imposter in the White House that we've gone from the email to she-mails in one administration. That's right. I don't think that we should call our emails anymore. I think we should call them she-mails. Because I think it's an affront to all the she-mails out there to refer to emails as emails. I think we should say, I'm sending you a she-mail. And then we can change it from .com to something else. I think that's an affront as well. I think that offends people. And I think that anyone who feels they can fly a commercial jet should be allowed to walk into a cockpit and say that being a pilot is more complex than proving you can be a pilot. And that I should be allowed to take the controls of a passenger jet and fly it, the way this NAACP leader has done, or the way Al Sharpton has used race for personal advantage, in my opinion, or the way Jesse Jackson has ridden the racehorse his entire life, or the way Obama has ridden and continues to ride the racehorse in his war against America and his war against the police. Yeah, we're living in dangerous times. So over the weekend, your president was nowhere to be found. He was partying, playing golf. And today was the big day. He's supposed to bring back the trade agreement today and try to lobby for it. No one can find him. He's hung over from a party, a private party of 500 people. Prince party. Won't disclose who was at the party. So he was confronted by a Wall Street Journal reporter through his spokesmouth, that the Goebbels of the administration. The Wall Street Journal reporter grilled the Goebbels of the administration, Josh Earnest, the American version of Joseph Goebbels, on Obama's private party. You must listen to clip 28.
Can you just explain what criteria the White House faces classifying something as a private event that you don't disclose on the president's public schedule?
I think what I can just describe to you is that the President and First Lady hosted a private social event at the White House on Saturday night. And it was not something that it was a private event and something that they paid for.
Oh, really? Now listen to 29.
You guys disclose private events, presumably, that don't have coverage. For instance, when the president hosts a screening in the White House movie theater. This was 500 people, lobbyists, corporate executives, an international celebrity, and it wasn't even on the president's schedule. So how do you justify that? And how is that in line with the president's commitment to transparency?
I think the fact that we're talking about a private event and the fact that details of this are known is an indication that the president is committed to being transparent. At the same time, the president and First Lady are going to reserve the right to host private parties at the White House.
Josh Ernst, if ever there's an election where we have an honest American, we have to have a trial for crimes against humanity. And you know that after, and I'm not comparing it to that era, one of the worst eras in human history, afterwards there were trials for people who had foisted this upon the nation of Germany and